When my son told me he wasn't expecting me for Christmas, I didn't cry, I didn't argue. I just canceled the mortgage payment I'd been covering for him for 2 years. What happened next? Well, let's just say Christmas came early for me. The scent of cinnamon and nutmeg filled Maggie Turner's kitchen. She stood at the counter, wrapping a tin of homemade fudge in red paper, the kind with tiny gold snowflakes that always made her feel like the holidays had officially begun. Outside, frost clung to the bare oak branches, glittering in the late November sunlight. Her son, Daniel, had promised to call at noon. She was expecting their usual pre-holiday chat, maybe a discussion about what time she should arrive for Christmas Eve dinner, what desserts to bring for the grandkids. The phone rang, but when she answered, it wasn't the cheerful greeting she'd imagined. "Oh, hang on, Mom." Daniel's voice was muffled, distracted. She heard the scrape of a chair, then the sound of him covering the receiver. Through the faint hiss of the line, she caught another voice, Rachel's, sharp and impatient. "Well, she's not coming this year, right? You told me she's fine spending it on her own?" Maggie froze, her hand tightening around the phone. "Yeah," Daniel replied casually. "She's fine. Besides, it'll be less stress for everyone." They both laughed softly, that short, private laugh people share when they think the subject of the joke can't hear. Maggie's ears burned. She pulled the phone from her cheek and stared at it for a moment, as if it were suddenly a foreign object. When she put it back to her ear, Daniel was speaking again, his tone smoother now. "Hey, Mom, listen, about Christmas, we've got a lot going on this year. Maybe it's better if we just do something in January. The kids have so many activities, and Rachel's parents are flying in." "Oh," Maggie said, her voice even. "I see." She forced herself to keep talking, though her throat felt tight. "Well, that's fine. I wouldn't want to be in the way." Daniel sighed in relief. "Exactly. I knew you'd understand. We'll make it up to you after the holidays, okay?" After the call ended, Maggie stood in the middle of her quiet kitchen, the tin of fudge still sitting open on the counter. The faint ticking of the wall clock seemed louder than usual. She walked over to the table, sat down, and stared at the bank statement she'd left there that morning. The words "mortgage payment, $1,743 stared back at her in black ink. Her money. The payment she'd been covering for nearly 2 years, since Daniel and Rachel hit a rough patch. Her hands folded slowly in her lap. She thought of the years of birthday cakes, scraped knees, and hard lessons she'd taught her son. She thought of how she'd never once missed a payment on her own home, and how easily he'd dismissed her from his holiday like she was an unwanted ornament. A cold clarity began to settle over her like the frost outside. If she wasn't welcome for Christmas, maybe her money wasn't either. That night, Maggie lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the faint hum of the refrigerator drifting from the kitchen. The house felt unusually still, as though even the walls were waiting for her to make up her mind. She replayed the conversation in her head, Daniel's easy tone, Rachel's smug certainty. Each word settled in her chest like a stone. On her nightstand sat a small picture frame, its silver edges worn from years of dusting. Inside was a photo of Daniel at 10 years old, grinning through a missing front tooth, holding up a science fair ribbon. That boy had needed her. That boy had looked at her like she was the center of the universe. Now, she was the center of his bank account. Maggie turned over and reached for her reading glasses. She opened her laptop, the blue glow lighting up her lined face, and navigated to the online banking portal. Her finger hovered over the mouse, then clicked the tab marked Automatic Payments. The mortgage line sat there in bold, like a chain she hadn't noticed until now. With 3 more clicks, the chain was gone. Automatic payment canceled. She sat back in her chair, the quiet sound of the furnace kicking on in the background. For the first time in years, she felt a strange, buoyant lightness, like she'd taken off a coat she didn't realize she was wearing. The next morning, she poured herself a cup of coffee and carried it to her front porch. The air was crisp enough to nip her nose, but she didn't mind. She wrapped her sweater tighter and watched the sun creep over the rooftops. Carol, her neighbor from across the street, spotted her and waved. Carol was a wiry woman in her 70s, with a head of white hair that seemed to have its own opinions. "Mornin', Maggie. You're up early." "Couldn't sleep," Maggie called back. Carol shuffled across the street in her robe and slippers, a travel mug in one hand. "Too much thinkin'? I can always tell by the way you sit there, looking like you're about to start a war." Maggie gave a small laugh. "Not a war, just a boundary." Carol leaned against the porch railing. "Good. People who love you will respect those. People who don't, well, you find out who they are." Maggie took a slow sip of coffee. She didn't say much else, but inside, her resolve was solidifying. She didn't need to announce her decision. The consequences would speak loudly on their own. Over the next week, Maggie began peeling herself out of Daniel's life, one thread at a time. She didn't rush it. There was a certain satisfaction in doing it quietly, letting the absence be noticed at the right moment. First, she skipped her usual Tuesday grocery drop-off. Every week, she'd load up her trunk with paper towels, pasta, and those juice boxes the grandkids liked. Daniel didn't mention it at first. Maybe he thought she'd just been busy. Then came Thursday, when Rachel texted, "Can you watch the kids Saturday night?" Maggie typed back, "Sorry, I already have plans." That wasn't a lie. Her plan was to stay home with a glass of wine and a mystery novel. Each small refusal gave her a little more air in her lungs. One afternoon, she went to the bank in person, the smell of old carpet and lemon-scented cleaner greeting her as she walked in. She closed the secondary savings account Daniel had insisted she keep just in case. She transferred every last dollar into her own private account. Carol noticed the spring in her step. "You look like someone who just won a small lottery," she teased as they stood in line at the coffee shop. "Better," Maggie said. "I just took my name off someone else's bill." By mid-December, the late payment notices had begun to arrive at Daniel's house. She knew because he called one evening, trying to sound casual. "Hey, Mom. Weird thing. The bank says the mortgage payment didn't go through this month. Must be some kind of glitch. Can you check your end?" Maggie was in her kitchen, the smell of baking bread filling the air. She kept kneading the dough as she replied, "Oh, that's strange. I'll look into it." She didn't say when. After the call, she wiped her hands on a towel, slid the dough into a loaf pan, and realized she was smiling. For the first time in years, she wasn't rescuing anyone. She was just living. By the 3rd week of December, Maggie had all but forgotten the sting of that phone call. Or maybe she'd just worn it down into something she could hold without pain. Her days had taken on a new rhythm. Coffee on the porch, an afternoon walk with Carol, evenings spent cooking meals just for herself. The house felt warmer somehow, even though the thermostat hadn't changed. One morning, as she was dusting the bookshelf, the phone rang. She glanced at the caller ID. Daniel. "Merry almost Christmas, Mom." His voice was a little too bright, the kind of cheer that felt like wrapping paper over a dented box. "Merry almost Christmas," she said, letting her tone stay polite but cool. "So, about the holidays?" He hesitated, then chuckled. "We've been talking, and the kids really want you to come. They miss you. Rachel says she was wrong about keeping it small this year." Maggie leaned against the wall, a soft laugh in her throat, the kind you keep inside so the other person doesn't hear it. "Is that so?" "Yeah, we want it to be like old times. We'll have your favorite pie, and, his voice faltered for a moment. "We could also talk about, the mortgage thing. I know there's been some mix-up." There it was, the real reason for the sudden warmth in his voice. Maggie let a beat of silence stretch between them, listening to the faint background noise of the kids in the distance. "That's kind of you," she said finally, "but I've already made other plans for Christmas." "What plans?" Daniel asked, a touch of sharpness in his voice now. "I'm spending it here with Carol. She's making roast beef, and we're going to watch old movies. I think it'll be lovely." Daniel was quiet for a moment, then sighed. "Well, okay, but we should talk soon. About the house." "Of course," Maggie said, her tone steady as a held note. When she hung up, she didn't feel guilty. She felt something else entirely. The quiet satisfaction of knowing the game had shifted, and she wasn't the one playing defense anymore. The week after Christmas, a thick envelope landed in Maggie's mailbox. Not hers, Daniel's. The big, bold letters, "Final Notice," peeked through the thin window of the envelope. She turned it over in her hands, the paper stiff and cold from the winter air, before walking it across the street to Carol's house. "You're not even opening it?" Carol asked, setting down her knitting. "Not my name on it," Maggie replied. "And besides, I already know what it says." At Daniel's place, the tension was mounting. She could hear it in his voice when he called a few days later. "Mom, we're in a bit of a bind here. The bank's saying they're starting foreclosure proceedings if we don't pay up by next month." Maggie was sitting at her kitchen table, the scent of fresh coffee drifting through the room. "I'm sorry to hear that. You could help us, just this once," he said quickly. "I promise I'll pay you back. It's just to get over this hump." She let the steam from her mug warm her face before answering. "Daniel, I've been helping you over humps for years. This time, you'll have to find your own way up." He laughed nervously, as if she were joking. "Come on, Mom, you know you don't mean that." "I do," she said softly but firmly. There was a pause, the kind that stretched too long for comfort. Finally, he muttered, "Fine," and hung up. Afterward, Maggie walked to the living room window and looked out at the snow beginning to fall. Tiny flakes caught in the branches of the oak, each one glinting in the pale winter light. It was strange, but in that moment, she felt lighter than she had in years. The first week of January hit like a hammer for Daniel. Maggie didn't need to be told. She could hear it in the short, clipped voicemails he left. The warmth in his tone had vanished, replaced by a brittle edge. "Mom, the bank's calling every day now. Rachel's furious. I need you to call me back." She didn't. Instead, she sat with Carol in the little diner down the street, the smell of frying bacon and brewed coffee wrapping around them like a blanket. Snow flurries danced outside the fogged windows. "So he's learning what the rest of us figured out decades ago," Carol said between bites of toast. "Banks don't wait, and grown-ups pay their own bills." Maggie smirked. "Seems like it." She stirred cream into her coffee. I keep thinking about all the times I said yes without even checking if I could afford it. And now I realize I was the only one treating it like it mattered. Back at her house later that afternoon, her phone rang again. This time, she answered. Daniel's voice came out tight and fast. "Mom, the foreclosure notice is official now. If I don't come up with the payment by the end of the month, we're out. The kids will have to move. Is that what you want?" Maggie took a breath. The sound of his desperation tugged at her, but not enough to undo the months of clarity she'd built. "What I want," she said evenly, "is for you to stand on your own 2 feet. You told me you didn't expect me for Christmas. I took you at your word. You shouldn't expect my money either." The silence on the other end was heavy. Then a sharp, "You've changed." "No," she replied. "I've stopped changing for you." She hung up. Her hand was steady. That night, she booked a flight to Italy for spring, something she'd only ever daydreamed about. January dragged on, gray and cold. Maggie watched it all from the warm bubble of her own home, the hum of her radiator keeping her company. Daniel called less now. When he did, his voice carried the strained tone of someone juggling too many fires at once. She could guess what was happening. Selling off the fancy sound system he never really needed, taking extra shifts at whatever job he could land. One afternoon, while Maggie was folding laundry, Rachel's number flashed on her phone. Against her better judgment, she answered. "Maggie," Rachel said without preamble, "I hope you know what this is doing to the kids." Maggie kept her voice level. "The kids still have 2 parents, Rachel, and those parents have had plenty of time to handle their own finances. You could fix this with 1 check," Rachel snapped. "I could," Maggie agreed, "but I won't. Fixing it for you is how we got here in the first place." Rachel exhaled sharply, like she was about to argue, then hung up without another word. That evening, Maggie sat by her front window with a cup of chamomile tea. Across the street, Carol was shoveling her walkway. She caught Maggie's eye and raised the shovel in greeting. "You holding up?" Carol called. "Better than fine," Maggie said through the cold air, and she meant it. The foreclosure wasn't hers. The chaos wasn't hers. For the first time in years, her life was quiet, and she planned to keep it that way. By February, the house Daniel lived in was officially listed for foreclosure auction. Maggie didn't find out from him. She heard it from Carol, who had a cousin working at the county clerk's office. She expected to feel a sting of guilt. Instead, she felt something cleaner, sharper, a release, like loosening a knot that had been pulling at her for years. On a quiet Saturday morning, she sat at her kitchen table with her Italy guidebook spread open. Sunlight spilled through the window, painting warm rectangles across the wood. She traced a finger over the map of Florence, imagining herself walking along cobblestone streets, smelling espresso and fresh bread. Her phone rang. Daniel again. "Maggie," he started, his voice low, tired. "We're moving out next week. Rachel's staying with her parents for now. I guess I should have handled things differently." Maggie let his words hang in the air before answering. "We all make choices, Daniel, and we all live with them." "I didn't think you'd actually stop helping," he said, almost to himself. "You didn't think I'd stop showing up for Christmas either," she replied. "But here we are." He didn't argue. After a pause, he said, "Well, have a nice trip." "Thank you," Maggie said, softly, and meant it. When the call ended, she looked around her small, tidy kitchen. For the first time in decades, it felt like hers in every way, not just the walls and the furniture, but the air itself, unburdened by obligation. Outside, the snow had begun to melt, leaving patches of green grass visible beneath. Spring was coming, so was Italy. Maggie picked up her coffee, took a slow sip, and smiled. She might have lost her son's approval, but she had gained back something far more precious: herself.